これいいでしょう。じゃあこれどけとこうかな。これをどけて、これでどうですか。なんか変。
微妙にこれどう思います？まあ大丈夫ですかね。
じゃあここにこれを置いたらなんとなく飲み物ってごまかせます？
大丈夫ですね。
ちょっとしか映ってないんで大丈夫そうです。
はい。どんな感じでやらへんやろ。こんなん司会系初めてやから緊張するわ。YouTuber デビューですからこれが。うん。このビデオで YouTuber デビューしよう思ってるから。
こんな感じで一応こんな感じで。
Japanese TV production.
一応今こんな感じで写ってます。
ああ、それもいい写真ですね。後でください。じゃあ行きましょうか。3、2、1スタート。じゃあもうあとダラダラと流しといてくださいね、録画。OK、nowスタート。はい。皆様、ヒロです。このビデオで YouTuber デビューしようと企んでますので、ぜひ皆さんチャンネル登録してください。まだチャンネル名は決まってませんけど。で、今日はなんとチェンマイで有名なタイベディックのセバスチャン・ブルーノさんにばったり会いまして、せっかく会ったのでいろいろインタビューをしてみようかと思います。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So at first, you are already popular in Japan, but please introduce yourself for the Japanese people.
For the Japanese people. Okay, let me try my best. はじめまして、セバスティアンです。よろしくお願いします。Was that good enough?
Yes.
Yes, good. Thank you.
And first, I would like to ask you about how you start Thai Vedic. You are about Thai massage history or bodywork history.
Okay. So my bodywork history, as a very young child, when I was about 6 years old, I was a very agitated kid. So my parents took me to the doctor.
Oh, yeah?
And the doctor suggested that I should practice something that would help me develop my focus, concentration, discipline. So he suggested fishing or judo.
Judo. Oh.
So of course, if you ask a 6-year-old child if they want to fish or if they want to do judo, of course I chose judo.
Judo.
And I practiced judo for like 12 years.
12 years.
So the transition from judo to bodywork was very natural, was very organic. And I started studying massage and bodywork first in Scotland, and then I went to Nepal.
Nepal.
And that's where I met my first Thai massage teacher.
In Nepal.
In Nepal. Rahul Bharti from the Healing Hand Center. So this was almost 20 years ago. And there was something very interesting that I discovered when I was studying massage and body work, was that I was very comfortable with moving the body, moving my body and moving other people's body. I had an understanding of how the body moves because of all those years practicing judo. There's a saying in martial arts where they say that the same point that can kill you can heal you. The difference is the intention. Are you approaching the body with the intention of
Cut.
or with the intention of treating and healing? But it's the same anatomy, it's the same tendons, the same nerves, the same sen, it's the same energy. It's the difference is just the approach, the intention. So I felt very comfortable with touching the body and moving the body. So I kept studying. And of course, eventually, I came to Thailand. And I came to Thailand to study and do a government certified teacher training in one of the big schools here in Chiang Mai. And while it was a very interesting experience, I felt that that was not my way of learning, because being in Nepal and studying with a master was very different from then coming to study in a school that amongst many things is also a business. So I decided that I wanted to study just with more traditional teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out my teacher's teacher.
Okay.
And my teacher's teacher, you probably heard of him, is Ajahn Pichet.
Yeah.
Pichet is probably the most legendary Thai massage master alive. At least most people that I know in the West, anyone that is, or outside of Thailand, anyone that is serious about Thai massage, most likely they either study with Pichet or they study with someone that studied with Pichet. Many ways lead back to him. And then of course schools like the one you study at TM, these are big schools with big influence. But I found out Ajahn Pichet and he became one of my main teachers. So for the last 15 years, every time I have the chance, I come and visit him and spend time with him. And with Pichet, it's not so much about learning, it's very much about unlearning. He has a very peculiar, very unorthodox way of teaching. He's a very, very special, very amazing practitioner. A very, very inspiring figure in my life. I've studied with some other teachers along the way, and at some point I met a very talented Ayurvedic practitioner, Kimana Nichols. We were working at the same alternative healing center, and we decided to work together to kind of combine the things that we did, and that's when we decided to create Thai Vedic. So Thai Vedic is a school of holistic medicine, and as an holistic medicine, the focus is really on understanding individuality, understanding our uniqueness. And both Thai medicine and Ayurveda look at the uniqueness through the prism of the elements, understanding the elemental qualities, the elemental core constitution of an individual, and from there understanding their tendencies towards imbalance. So yeah, that's a little bit of how I started and how Thai Vedic came to be.
So your Thai Vedic, you focus on balance the elements, or
Yes, yeah. Which is very much what Thai massage is aiming to do. I mean, Thai massage is part of the system of traditional Thai medicine, and uses Thai medical theory. I know that a lot of people study Thai massage, and often there's not so much of the medical theory available, but there is a theory behind the practice. There is a reason why we do what we do, and we are working with the elements. There's a 4-element module, and there's a 6-element module.
wind.
So if you look at the 4-element model, you have earth, water, fire, and wind. But then you cannot forget that Thai medicine is Buddhist medicine. Everything, the view, the understanding in respect to the body, in respect to disease, in respect to environment, in respect to phenomena, it's a Buddhist view. So then you also have the space element and the consciousness element. So we have a 4-element model or a 6-element module.
First time I heard about consciousness is the one of the elements.
Yeah. So in the words of Buddha, Buddha said a sentient being is made out of solidity, which is earth, liquidity, which is water, heat, fire, movement, wind, spaciousness or space, which is space element, and consciousness. These are the things that make out a sentient being. Now with Thai massage, because it's a more manual therapy, it's working a lot with the physicality, with the physical structures of the body, we focus mostly on earth and water. These are the anatomy, and then fire and wind. This is the physiology. But the space is also there, and the consciousness is also there.
Oh, すごいな。And actually, if someone want to learn your technique, normally Thai Vedic need how many days to study? Not many days.
We have different programs, and I would say that with these practices, it's you never stop learning. You never stop. It's I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't call myself a teacher. I call myself an instructor, because I'm more than a teacher. I'm a student, and every time I go visit my teachers, it's very, very clear. Very clear. I'm a student. Every time I need an ego check, I go see my teachers and realize how much they know compared to how little I know. And I have to choose to look at that as not something defeating, but as something inspiring. So I see, wow, I look at my teacher and see that's what's possible. I look at myself, oh my God, this is where I'm at, so small. And I see the long road in between. So then I choose to let that inspire me. So I say, let's get to work. And to work is keep studying, keep practicing. That's it. That's it.
とにかく、あんたこの辺に多分後々翻訳つけますんで、maybe subtitle here.
Yeah, subtitle.
Yeah, but actually, I like your idea very much, almost like the same, because many people know Thai massage, how to do Thai massage, but actually not many people know about the theory behind them.
And there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion because there's a lot of borrowing knowledge from other systems.
I mean Thai massage.
Especially in Thai massage outside of Thailand. Foreigners practicing Thai. Look at it this way. Thai massage became popular outside of Thailand maybe 40 years ago. Let's say like 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So imagine foreigners came to Thailand and they saw Thai massage. And Thai massage is a very different style of bodywork, right? And it's very eye-catching. So very curious, what is this? That's very different. So they want to learn. So immediately they face big challenges. One, language. If you don't speak the language, it's very limited, right? Even if you are to study medicine in Japan and you speak Japanese, if you go and learn medicine, you need to learn a whole nother new language, right? So even in your language it's difficult to learn medicine. Imagine learning a style of medicine that is very connected with Buddhism. So maybe you have a different religion, a different philosophy, different culture. So it was that was a big challenge. Then people didn't have much time. Still today you see, it's rare that people do what you do, spending 6 months here. Most people come for 5 days, 10 days. Maybe some people 1 month. Very few people spend 3 months or 6 months. That's very little time. So facing the language barrier and facing the time challenge, what did they learn? They learned sequence. Step 1, step 2, this move, that move. Why? Don't know. For what? Don't know. We do. And then these people went back to their countries and they started practicing and probably became very successful very quickly because they were doing something very different. So when you become successful, very quickly people start asking to teach. So when these people were asked to teach, they very quickly realize, where's the theory? Because if you want to teach, you need to have a theoretical aspect. So a lot of these people, what they did, they borrowed knowledge from Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, because these were systems that were very well documented in English and more available. Because even today, it's not easy. Most traditional Thai medical texts are not translated into English. They are either in Thai or in Pali. So it's still not easy today. So imagine 40 years ago.
No English at all.
So then we ended up having a lot of confusion. and people mixing up a lot the doshas from Ayurveda, bringing in all the meridians and the sen and saying that they're the same thing. There's a lot of confusion that started there, and because these people then also wrote books about it and created schools and taught in this way, now there's a lot of misinformation out there. So that's one of the reasons why I was telling you that I decided to do this tour, where I bring people to meet different practitioners and teachers to actually understand a little bit where this theory comes from, what is the view that pertains to the theory, and just to understand traditional Thai medicine in general, because it's a very complete system. And Thai massage is just a little speck within that system.
Little part of that.
Yeah. I usually like to make the analogy of a tree. So if you picture a really big tree, this is Thai medicine. So the trunk is traditional Thai medicine. Then this tree has 5 major roots. These roots, they're also called sciences. So 5 sciences. Sat. Sat is the Pali word for Sat means science.
Sat means science.
So we have the first root or the first science. It's called Vichasat, or medical. You could say medical sciences. And this is where you have medical doctors, traditional Thai medical doctors, where they use animal, plant, and mineral materials to make medicine that you take mostly internally. Then the second science is Hatha-sat. Hatha means hand, Sat means science. So you could say manual sciences or orthopedic sciences. So this is physical therapies. This is where we have Thai massage, chiropractics, Luk Prakob, herbal compress, working with medicated oils, working with balms and liniments, scraping, like washa, toxin, everything that is applied externally. That is Hatha-sat, orthopedic sciences. Then the third root is Hora-sat. That's Hora is like astrological sciences. You could say divinatory sciences or oracular sciences. And this is the use of astrology, numerology, palmistry, as ways of understanding tendencies towards imbalance. Then the fourth science is Saya-sat. Saya is magic, so magic sciences. And this is where you have Sakyant, mantras, yantras, incantations, magic spells. You know, the magic practices are still very, very alive. I've got a few. I mean, before you practice Thai massage, or every time before you start class, what do? Waikru. A chanting, an incantation, an invocation to call in forth the intelligence of the teachers, so they can come forth and assist us in our learning process, in our healing process. And then the fifth root, or the fifth science, is Hutta-sat, Buddhist sciences. And this is the Buddhist concepts, Buddhist view, Buddhist understanding in relation to the body, to the mind, to phenomena, to disease tendency. And everything in traditional Thai medicine is absolutely infused with Buddhist understanding, Buddhist view, Buddhist concepts and Buddhist practices. You cannot separate Thai medicine from Buddhist medicine. So if this is the tree, Thai medicine, and you have the 5 roots, the 5 sciences, then the branches are the specialities. So Thai massage could be a branch, but in Thai medicine there's no such thing as a massage therapist. You have a massage doctor, Mon Wad, massage doctor. And you can have a Mo Pi, like a spirit doctor. And you could have a Mo Du, a fortune teller, clairvoyant, a midwife. Then there's many different branches, but they all branch from the same trunk, and this trunk draws from these 5 roots. So see, as amazing as Thai massage is, Thai massage is a little bit of the great tree of Thai medicine. So it's good to learn a little bit more about the tree, about the roots, about the origins.
これはすごい貴重、いい話してくれてますんで、後で、ぐっと。But do you think Thai medicine start from Thailand or originally from India and they
All traditional systems come from the land where they come from.
Okay.
Yeah?
So Thai traditional come from Thailand.
Come from Thailand.
Okay.
Before it was not Thailand, it was Siam, right?
Yeah.
And this is one area on the planet where humans have been living here for thousands of years. Thousands of years. So if wherever there's been humans, there's been suffering. Wherever there's been suffering, there's been medicine. Right? Even if it is we are out hunting, and then at the end of the day you massage my shoulders because I fall down, or you burn yourself in the fire and you put your hand in the cooling water, or you chew these herbs to help with your belly that hurts. As long as there's been humans, there's been medicine, right? So it's very difficult to trace down the origin exactly. Now if you see, Thailand is in a very strategic location. Above you have China, then on the side you have Cambodia, Laos, then you have Burma, and then below you had Malaysia, and trading routes with India and Arab kingdoms. So it's been right in the crossover of many trade routes, which means that it's always been very much exposed to influence. There's been a lot of information, cultural information. So it's important to understand that origin and influence are not the same thing. So you could say for sure that Thai medicine has some Indian medicine influence, for sure. Buddhism came from the land that these days we call India, right? For sure there's influence. You could say that there's influence from China because it's a massive influence. Even from Arab kingdoms, for sure from the Khmer Empire and the Moon Empire, Cambodia and Myanmar, right? But that doesn't mean that it's the origin. The origin of any medical traditional system is always the land, right? Because if I plant a mango tree here, same seed, I plant it here and plant it in Japan, it's going to give the same tree, it's going to give the same fruit, but they're going to taste different. Because the qualities of the soil are different, the qualities of the environment are different, right? So the same with the diseases. The diseases that we have here are not the same as the diseases you have in Japan. Some are, but there's differences. The plants are different. The things we get exposed are different. So we can always trace back a traditional system to the land where it comes from. And in that sense, Thai medicine is from this land.
これ今何時やろう
今ちょっと一旦止めていいですか。
はい